Tonight, police investigate a brazen robbery of a post office in Broken Hill, and the anxious wait is over for Year 12 graduates as university offers begin to arrive to students across the region.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. A man has made off with cash during a robbery at a Broken Hill post office. An elderly worker was assaulted in the incident. Police are now investigating.
A brazen robbery in broad daylight. At around midday, a man entered the McCulloch Street post office and demanded cash. He then assaulted the 75-year-old worker behind the counter before fleeing with a sum of money. Police arrived shortly after and established a crime scene. Detectives took a statement from the post office worker, who didn't require medical attention. Police say what the thief did after leaving the post office remains unclear. They're not sure if he left in a vehicle or on foot. Police are calling for witnesses to come forward and for businesses and homes around the McCulloch Street and William Street area with CCTV camera footage to contact Crime Stoppers. Officers say they want to interview a man who might be able to help with the ongoing investigation. He's described as being of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander appearance, wearing a red beanie and as having a solid build. He was last seen on McCulloch Street. Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Two teenagers bushwalking near Port Lincoln made quite the discovery today, stumbling across 6 cannabis plants growing in sand dunes. The pair was walking along Windsor Avenue to Murray's Point near the racecourse when they spotted the plants. Police later discovered a total of 9 cannabis plants in the area. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Whalers Airport is set to receive some upgrades worth $70,000. They'll allow emergency services, light aircraft operators and pilots to access and use the airport in a safer and more efficient manner.
With over 300 flights a year, the flying doctor and ambulances are frequent users of Whalers Airport. Ambos delivering patients after hours are forced to manually open gates at the entrance, taking up precious time. That's set to change soon, with the looming installation of electronic gates.
If there's inclement weather and stuff, it's just a scan card. Opens the gate. They don't have to worry about getting out and reclosing the gates for security reasons.
It's part of a $70,000 renovation co-funded by council and the state government. New tie-downs for light aircraft will also be constructed on the grass banks of the runway to help secure them in rough weather.
At the moment, there's nowhere for the pilot to actually tie down to the hard stand area. Part of this program, we're going to install tie downs on the hard stand area so they can actually tie the plane down.
The airport will also receive electronic animal repellents to replace the current ageing devices that keep the runway clear. He says the improved roo guards will help keep hopping roos away from the flying kangaroo.
This part is, it's proven over the last 10 years that this system's been in, that it works quite well.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
The 2017 graduates at John Perry Secondary School are rejoicing at the fact their results are the best in the school's history. And for one student, his hard work has paid off in more ways than one, earning him the title of Dux and entry into his university course.
For Year 12 student Jake Tilley, after a hard year of study, a perfect score.
95.65 before bonus points gives him essentially a perfect score, access to any university course he'd like to do anywhere in our nation. That's an extraordinary achievement for a young person.
Jake's now been offered his first university preference, a Bachelor of Electronic Engineering at the University of Adelaide. He's put his success down to his love of learning and the support from his family, friends and teachers.
Any help I've needed, they've just given it to me, no worries. But also the group of students that I was in class with, couldn't have done it without them. They deserve the score as much as I do.
He's hoping his new career path will help him to make a difference in the world.
Making a change in the world, the community, the nation, and the growing industry of technology and stuff, being involved in that and making new electronics is a good way of doing that.
The 2017 SACE results were the best the school's ever seen, with 3 students receiving an ATAR above 90 and 10 with a score above 80.
Results in 2017 were outstanding, the best in the history of John Perry Secondary School.
Last year's results are a massive improvement from the past 5 years.
a strong sense of culture of achievement growing amongst the student cohort, so they're really proud of their achievements.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Port Augusta's award-winning garden is once again proving its strong tourism pull. The Australian Arid Lands Botanic Garden has been recognised as the top regional garden to visit by the Australian Geographic magazine.
Yet another recognition, but it comes as a complete surprise to the garden's staff and volunteers.
So it was indeed a surprise. Nobody saw it coming whatsoever. So it's a big accolade for the volunteers, the staff.
Arid Lands took home silver and bronze in the SA Tourism Awards in November and became a certified ecotourism destination in July last year. This time it's received a special mention in the Australian Geographic magazine.
That we are the #1 regional botanic garden in Australia, based on that we have such a unique garden in that we concentrate on low rainfall desert plants.
The two-page spread lists the Port Augusta draw card at the top of 10 gardens across Australia. It commends Arid Lands as the only garden in the world specialising in the southern arid zone of Australia.
It's estimated in excess of $4 million worth of volunteer hours into the garden, so it's a great achievement for all of us, and it proves that that with community working alongside of local government, you can really achieve something.
Recognition that will only benefit the whole town.
Awards like this do generate additional traffic. We look like extending 110,000 people, which is a 10% increase on the previous year.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
After the break, fully booked. Port Lincoln accommodation providers bursting at the seams this holiday season. Details next. After a horror few days on New South Wales roads, Broken Hill Police have issued a stern message to all motorists. Officers will be launching a campaign aimed at increasing road safety in the outback.
Last year certainly wasn't a good year on the state's roads.
There were 393 road fatalities in New South Wales.
And 2018 hasn't started well either, with the state road toll already at 24. With Australia Day approaching, police wanted to stop.
To help reduce this number, Operation Safe Return starts at midnight on Thursday the 25th of January and concludes at midnight on Sunday the 28th.
At the top of their hit list, drink and drug driving. Every squad car will be a roaming drink and drug testing unit, increasing the chances of being caught if you risk it.
It's been very hot and no doubt the hot weather will continue. So have plenty to drink, stop and have a rest.
Inattention also continues to be a major danger for drivers. Checking your phone, adjusting your radio or even losing focus can be fatal.
Becoming a little bit lazy and starting to gaze around. You need to keep focus on the road and continue concentrating.
And with an increase of heavy and oversized vehicles across town, police are noticing many drivers are unaware of how to handle the situation.
Give them plenty of room. Don't cut in front of them. Stay back, don't tailgate. If you can see the mirrors on the prime mover, the driver can see you. Follow the directions of the pilot vehicles.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
The resources industry is calling for a number of commitments to be made by political parties ahead of the state election. It says continuing support for the industry and an infrastructure boost are important to securing the future of our economy.
Worth $4 billion and employing nearly 28,000 people, the mineral industry is one of the largest in the state. With an election around the corner, it's now laid out what it wants from the next government.
We've issued ours now to give both sides plenty of time to understand what it is that we see as critical.
Development in this region is in their sights. It says investment is needed in the Eyre Peninsula's energy infrastructure to increase reliability and help businesses keep their bills under control.
Access to affordable, secure and reliable sources of energy are just vital for South Australian resources sector to prosper.
As is our deep sea port. The state currently doesn't have one, with barges needed to transport product to Cape vessels. Iron Road is currently developing a private one at Cape Hardy, but Ms Nell believes Wireless Port would be a perfect fit for other companies.
Whyalla is central to the region and would be the ideal location for many organisations.
But most importantly, she says support for exploration is critical for jobs and investment in the north of the state.
It's important that we keep on doing exploration drilling to find the next Olympic dam or to find the next Carrapateena.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Well, Port Lincoln is enjoying a bumper holiday period with most accommodation sites reaching full capacity. The swell in numbers throughout the West Coast is diversifying the local economy, fueling thousands of jobs.
It's been a summer for the books.
Flat out over Christmas, we were fully booked. We even opened up as about 20 more sites for the unpowered so we could accommodate everyone.
We haven't had traditional summer weather, but even without that, we've had full accommodation. We've had a lot of people in town.
Sites like the Port Lincoln Tourist Park have been inundated with travellers, and it's not just this region feeling the boom.
$300 million basically spent across the peninsula per annum through the visitor economy and about 3,000 jobs.
The tourism dollar is helping coastal towns along the west coast diversify their economy. Port Lincoln is now looking to capitalise on upcoming festivals and new tourism markets.
Pretty busy all the way up to Easter. We've got Tunorama, of course, coming up. So we've got a lot of bookings for that as well. And then we've got the nomads as well. That they keep the business all through the year.
Caravanning and camping is growing at a rapid rate on the EP compared to anywhere else in the nation, increasing by over 15% in recent years. The RDA believes its progress in growing our tourism dollar even further.
I'd love to see actually tourism stretch and even out, if you like, across all months of the year.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, the region's fuel prices. Plus, we meet a tireless Meals on Wheels volunteer in Port Pirie. Details next. Port Lincoln motorsport fans will now get the full racing experience with a concert to be held during the Teakle Auto Sprint. An open-air stage in the centre of town featuring local artists will cap off the first day of racing.
A green light for rock and roll and for race fans.
Now we know we're going to have a concert on the end of it and that'll top the weekend off.
The Teakle Auto Sprint will now feature an outdoor concert thanks to the Port Lincoln Hotel.
The vibe's going to be amazing. We're blocking off this road. The huge big stage will sit underneath the iconic fig trees. Lights, music, local bands. It'll be a really nice vibe.
Following months of planning with the local council, the licensed event will resemble a street party with the closure of an additional road to accommodate racegoers.
We really got to take our hats off to this community.
The concert will feature local band Weasel, who will cap off the first day of racing, following a similar format to the Adelaide 500.
My standing joke is that we did try to get Robbie Williams, but unfortunately he was preoccupied.
Last year's sprint attracted over 9,000 fans and saw the town swell during Easter. Organisers are expecting another bumper turnout before hitting the brakes on the event for a year.
There's over 100 involved each day, so that's a big commitment for people, so that's why I think it's better if we can just do that every second year.
Limited tickets for the concert will go on sale closer to the event. Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
A long-serving Meals on Wheels volunteer has been recognised for her service. For almost 40 years, Val Harvey has been tirelessly working to ensure locals are provided with food.
35 years of serving the Port Pirie community. Val Harvey started volunteering at the local Meals on Wheels in 1983.
She's a hard worker, and if you've been here for 35 years, you can understand where her dedication comes from.
You make other friends, you're helping people, it's just, yeah, it's good. Gives you a good feeling in here.
Without Val's help, Meals on Wheels says it wouldn't be able to deliver to nearly 100 clients each day.
Without her, we wouldn't be here.
Well, you don't realise how much it actually gives you.
Throughout her years of volunteering, Val has made some lifelong friendships.
Helping the community for starters, but you know, we like doing the meals, we like working together. It's just a good vibe.
Each week, the kitchen needs over 85 volunteers to help prepare meals for those who often go on an empty stomach.
A lot of people aren't capable of cooking or don't remember to cook.
And Val says she'll keep volunteering and serving the community until she's no longer able to. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Good on you, Val. What an inspiration. Now time for Fuel Watch. Here's Amelia.
Much like the mercury this week, unleaded petrol prices have been on the rise with only slight improvements for diesel. Port Pirie and Port Lincoln have seen nearly a 2-cent jump, Port Lincoln motorists pumping at $1.39. Whyalla has made the highest regional average this week, almost breaking that $1.40 mark. Only a very slight price jump in Port Augusta. You can fill up on an average of $1.38.3. Kadina also on that upward trend, but seeing the lowest unleaded price in the region at $1.37.5. Broken Hill bucking the pump price trend, however, breaking even compared to Adelaide's $1.40 average this week. To diesel now, a lot of red on the board, but many averages have stayed the same. Adelaide is setting the benchmark for the lowest prices at $1.32.3, followed by Kadina seeing a slight improvement from last week. Broken Hill is seeing the highest pump prices in the region, while Port Pirie and Port Lincoln are keeping an even keel. Whyalla in the red though, and Port Augusta prices also on the upward trend. Now remember, these prices are regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. Now if you do find an outlet that does sell unleaded or diesel for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the local weather with Abby, and it was a scorcher around all centres today, Abby.
Yes, it was, Fraser. The heatwave packed a punch, but it's going to be even hotter to end the week. I'll have all the details next. Welcome back. Well, it was an absolute scorcher across all centres today. It hit 41 degrees in Port Augusta. It was a sizzling 37 in Whyalla, while all other centres saw temps in the 30s. It hit 39 degrees in Port Pirie. To the satellite now, and there's a bit more cloud cover over western parts of South Australia as a low and a trough begin to approach the border, which is causing the odd showers. Skies are clearer everywhere else under a ridge of high pressure. On the waters tomorrow, we'll see northerly winds shifting northeasterly up to 15 knots, seas at a metre, and the sun will pop up at 25 past 6 again. Looking at tomorrow now, and as you can see, there's a lot of temperatures in the 40s. There's no relief for Port Augusta, 43 the top. It warms up even more in Whyalla. We'll see similar hot temps in the Eyre Peninsula and a scorching 44-degree day in Woodna, while temps will rise into the 40s in the upper Spencer Gulf, 42 the top for Port Pirie. Looking ahead, and we won't see much relief from the heat until the weekend. Temps will remain in the 40s in Cleve and Woodna on Friday. Port Lincoln is in for a cooler day, thankfully, 31 the top, before temps drop on Saturday with some scattered showers forecast. And it's looking like a lovely day on Sunday, fine and 29 in Port Lincoln, but that warm weather will continue in Woodna. Further up the Gulf, no relief in sight until Saturday again, with temps climbing into the mid-40s by Friday in Port Augusta. A very hot one all round. Temps will drop into the mid to high 30s for your weekend plans, but it's still going to be very hot. And a similar story here, sizzling 40-degree maximums and sunny conditions for all centres to end the week. 43 the top for Port Pirie. Clare is also in for a scorcher, 41 the top on Friday, but temps should cool off slightly on Saturday and Sunday, but it is going to remain warm in Broken Hill. So, Fraser, it's going to be an extremely hot next couple of days.
It certainly is. What a heat wave. Thanks, Abby. And that's Southern Cross News for this Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your evening. Good night.